everybody, it is April. It might be a little dark. Let's try this again. There now. Whew. Bright light. Bright light, bright light. Hi everybody, it is April and I am working on lots of projects today in my craft room. But what I was going to do, I'm getting ready to free motion quilt the little panel quilt that I did, and before I start, after I've changed threads and needles and cleaned out the machine, I always like to practice, have a practice piece, so that if there's a problem, I'm not going to find it and have to pull out stitches on my big project. And I thought this is the perfect opportunity for me to share with you a free motion style that I'm more comfortable with and a way that you can work on a smaller project for your first tries at this. So what I'm doing, I have some fusible batting and I have 2 fat quarters. Just fat quarters that I had in my stash, and it just so happens that I'm using orange thread on my project, so I thought I would get a coordinating piece of fabric to practice on, because then what I can do is I can make zipper pouches out of it. So what I'm going to do, I'm putting my fusible batting down on top of the wrong side of my fat quarter, and then I'm going to put my other fat quarter on top of that. You don't want to get the fusible part of the batting stuck to your machine. So what I'm going to do, and essentially what you do is you just press, because what you're doing is you're heating up that glue so it melts on your fabric and then it sticks to your fabric. Now only one side of it is fusible, so this side that I am actually pressing on isn't the fusible side of the batting. I'm actually pressing this on top of the not fused side of my batting and hoping the heat will go all the way through to the glue. We'll see how it goes. And you don't have to be real precise about, my table's rolling, real precise about the size of your fabric. You just want it to be bigger than the fusible batting a little bit. Actually, my batting is just a little bit bigger than my fabric in this particular case. And usually where you have to press longer are the corners. So if you notice, when I go to pull this up, see, it's still not sticking. So I'm just going to hold my iron and put a little pressure on it. And I do this on high. And I worry more about the edges than I do the center, because if it's sticking on the edges, I'm pretty good. It just holds it together long enough for me to get started free motion quilting it. And I don't use fusible batting on my quilts. I use quilt basting spray. And these little quilts that I've been making, the little panel quilts, I haven't been using any adhesive at all. And I swore after the first one that I wouldn't do another one without adhesive, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. We'll see. Actually, this first one is going to my daughter because my machine, the stitches were just awful. Yep, I'm going to blame the machine and not myself. So, alright. So let me finish pressing this and then we'll get on to the fun part. Okay, my batting is not sticking at all, so that's not going to work. I'm just going to stay away from the edges and get this stuff to stick down. Whew, that was harder than what I thought it was going to be. Let's go sew. So what I'll do is at first I have to get my gloves. Okay, gloves. So this side that I have up is not the fused side. And it's stuck. It didn't stick great, but it stuck well enough. So what I'll do is I'll start out, actually you can't even see the material, so I'll fix that. But what I do is I've got my machine threaded, got my bobbin threaded, I have everything ready. And I'm just going to free motion quilt a loopy meander, which is what I'm going to use on this little quilt behind me. Just so, number one, I can make sure that everything is working like it should. I don't have any problems with my bobbin. I don't have any problems with my thread. And also, it's been a little while, a couple weeks, I think, since I've free motion quilted. So I like to get back into the swing of things because I don't do it every day. If I did it every day, then it wouldn't be that big a deal. And like I said, it's multi-purpose because then I can take this, and actually I can probably get 2 cosmetic bags. Not cosmetic bags, but 2 zipper pouches out of this. So I'm not wasting my time, I'm not wasting my thread or my material. I'm just practicing, but it's not as big a problem if there is a problem. You know what I mean? Alright, let me zoom in here for you. Okay, and of course there's some shadow because, you know, I'm in my basement. And it's a basement. Alright, so hopefully you can see well enough to get a good idea. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my needle down. I don't want to get in your way. Needle down. And make sure you hold your material in place and then needle up. And that will pull my bobbin thread through. And then I've got a little pair of tweezers that I use to get the rest of that thread up there. And now I have both lower and upper thread. And then I'm going to put my needle back down and lower my presser foot because I forget to do that. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands in place. Loopy meander, this is my very, very, very favorite stitch just because I think I've done it enough that I can do it okay. Watch me make a liar out of myself. Alright, so I'm going to pedal to the metal and then I have to figure out how quickly I need to move my material to get the stitch length that I want. And this is a nice small piece, so hopefully it's easier to maneuver. Alright, and first I'm going to take a few stitches just to lock everything in place, and now here we go. So I am going to speed my hands up a little bit, and there we go. And it takes me a minute to get going. And I'm going a little bit too fast, so I want to slow down. And the way I can tell is if I'm not going fast enough, then I will have these little bitty stitches. The distance between where the needle goes in and it comes back up. And if I go too fast, then the distance between where the needle went in and the needle comes back up is too long. So the goal, and I should have trimmed those threads, but I don't want to stop. So the goal, okay, that didn't sound good. It sounded like my bobbin came out. It did. Wow. Oh, this is so not good. Crap. Okay. Okay. So see, I'm glad this happened on this and not on my big piece. Okay. Shoo. Yeah, see, this is what you want to happen on your little piece, not your big piece. Okay, so see how I've got all of this right here, and then also I've got some stuff going on here that's not good. So I probably had a bobbin issue from the beginning. Alright, so let's put the bobbin back in. When at first you don't succeed, try again. Alright, I am going to, and I don't think that was the reason, because I left these threads, but I will take the time to cut my threads this time. And I really should have pulled them out of the way. Alright, so I'm going to just start back. Let me trim these threads too. I don't want that to cause a big old problem. Alright. And again, this is going to be a cosmetic bag, and it can be a cosmetic bag for a friend. Obviously, the side where it's all messed up will be the inside of my cosmetic bag. Alright, so let's try it again. So I'm going to put the needle down. Hopefully, I don't want it. Yeah. Yep, that's where it's going to be. Okay. Now this will be the true test as to whether or not I still have an issue. Alright, so it's not stuck. Looks like I'm okay. I'm going to pull this back. And I'm going to put my needle down. And I'm going to put my foot down. Put my gloves back on. And hopefully everything will work out okay. Alright, so again I'm going to do a few stitches. I'm going to hold this out of the way, and I'm going to try and stay away from that. Alright, ready? Go. And I'm kind of in practice now, so still going a little too fast. Okay, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to cut those threads. Get them out of the way. And I'm going to take a peek at the underside. And I think it looks okay. I don't know if you can see. I think it looks alright. Alright, so here we go. And then once you stop and you go to start again, first of all, when you stop, make sure that you hold on to your material. Because if you don't, your needle may be in the up position, and if you're not holding on to your material, your needle may come back down where you don't want it to. I've had it jump back or jump over. So when you stop, even when you put your foot off the pedal, hold on to your material and wait until your needle goes down and your whole machine stops. Now, when I'm going to restart, I don't have those threads in the way, so I'm going to pedal to the metal and immediately start moving my material. So you have to be ready. You have to be mentally prepared. Alright, ready? Here we go. And then what you do is you just get into the rhythm of how you're going to move. And the whole thing is, if you put your machine at a speed and you put the pedal down, you don't have to focus on where your foot is on your pedal. All you have to focus on is how quickly you're moving your material. And it's like, and I think they call this thread painting actually. And so right now I'm in a pretty good rhythm, and you try try to keep your hands pretty even. I tend to not stop when I should and readjust, which I think a lot of people do. So when in doubt, just stop. I say that, I don't do it, but I say it. So that's essentially it. Okay, and I'm going to show you now. I'm going to stop, and I want to hold on until that needle is in the down position. So that is a quick tutorial on how I free motion quilt my small project before I get started on my large project. Now when I put my large project under here, I will be fairly confident that my bobbin's okay, my needle's okay, my thread is threaded correctly, I have the right tension and all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed this. I was supposed to say subscribe at the beginning of the video, but I forgot to say that. So if you want to get started on free motion quilting, my suggestion would be these little back quarters with some fusible binding. It doesn't even have to be fusible binding. You could just use some basting spray and spray your, not binding, fusible batting. You could use some spray, quilt basting spray, and spray on your fabric, put it on the batting, and then go to town. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I know you have lots of different options as far as videos on YouTube to watch, and I hope to see you next time.